Time Out, the best of the city.
This is a Ralph original.
When I'm at home, I'm a bit lost.
Yeah. Like, now what?
Yeah,
Get the acid out and deep clean the kitchen. Good afternoon, good evening, good whatever. My name is Joe Makatich, Il Editore of Time Out in London, and you're listening to Love Thy Neighbourhood, the podcast in which a significant person shows me an insignificant person around part of London that means a lot to them. So that's 4 venues, all in one neighbourhood, and this time we are in Marylebone. Marylebone, not named after Mary Le Bon, Mary the Good, which was what I was taught when I was a kid. It's actually burn as in a stream, which is an Anglo-Saxon word for stream. The stream in question being, of course, the Tyburn. The Tyburn River flowed through here, sandwiched between 2 Roman roads, Watling Street and the one that became Oxford Street. It was known for one thing and one thing only, for hundreds of years, and that was executions, sometimes mass executions. I'm sure we'll get onto that in due course with our guest. In more recent times, Regency developed it, built some incredibly lovely Georgian houses all up and down it. You have Marylebone Gardens, that brought sort of pleasure seekers here and holiday makers, and since then, I don't know, all sorts. Charles Dickens spent a lot of time here, I think lived here. Paul McCartney did. Amelia de Moldenberg more recently. It's a fairly happening place. You've got a lot of kind of artisanal shops. Marylebone High Street in recent years has become a sort of central London village. Pretty pleasant. And the person who brings us here, the person that summons us, is the amazing chef Monica Galetti, who you probably know from her job as a judge on MasterChef The Professionals, aka The Good MasterChef, where everyone knows how to cut up an onion. She's also presented a TV show called Amazing Hotels, which sounds like a pretty sweet gig. She had various high-ranking jobs in incredibly scary kitchens across the capital, Le Gavroche being the one where she sort of cut her teeth in London, but has done all sorts since then, published loads and loads of books. She's also going to talk a little bit about her work with Itsu, which is something she's doing right now, and as someone interested in the motherland of Japan, I'm certainly interested in talking about that. Anyway, we're just arriving at our first location, so let's go along and say hi. Monica Galetti, where are we and why have you brought me here?
Our first stop is Bailey and Sage. It's just a wonderful shop that has so many different quality products, you know, anything from flowers to bread and croissants, selection of wine, cheese, and you can spend quite a bit of time just browsing through here.
And money.
Yes, that too.
Yeah. Let's go in and have a little look around the aisles.
Right.
They know we're coming, so they won't be too upset. Do people in food shops sort of get nervous when a chef comes in?
No, I think they're pretty confident of the products that they're selling.
Yeah.
You know, I just enjoy browsing, you know, pick up a treat now and then as well. I mean, how can you not?
Treats.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of treats, right?
This is a big shop.
It's also really nice if you're buying a gift for someone as well.
Do you know what? It's early in the episode, but I'm going to say it now. I'm going to buy you a gift.
You're going to buy me a gift?
Yeah, I think so from here. I don't know what it's going to be yet.
Oh, that's so kind.
It feels appropriate, and there's lots of gifts in here that could actually be perfect. Let's paint a picture for the listener here. We are surrounded by fresh produce. Some of it looks very delicious. We've got those unwaxed lemons that are very fashionable now. I feel like tomatoes are one of those things that people talk about a lot when they go on holiday. Everyone from Britain goes on holiday and they say, this is what a tomato's meant to taste like. And then they come back from holiday and tell everyone that the tomatoes. The tomatoes, it's always the tomatoes.
But do you not find that that's one of the first things that you notice when you do? It's such a natural thing when it's grown in the sunshine out there, isn't it?
Definitely. Every single year I try and grow tomatoes. And they're pretty easy to cook.
Yeah.
Sorry, to grow in soil and everything. But they invariably just taste of nothing when I make them.
Yeah.
Even though the little balcony sort of gets
a lot of sun.
sort of medium amount of sun throughout the day, like definitely until like 2 o'clock. For some reason, just like no matter what I do to the soil, they just never taste of anything apart from like water.
Have you tried strawberries? Strawberries
No.
are actually fail. You
Oh,
fail
really?
safe, I
A
think.
fail-safe?
Strawberries, yeah.
Oh, I should give that a go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon I could probably still ruin strawberries.
Very hard to ruin strawberries.
I've got it in me. I think I could. Chilies, that's also quite easy. I've done chilies
on the
before.
windowsill?
Yeah, on the windowsill. That's very fun. It's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
satisfying when they turn colour. You know,
Yeah,
when they go from
when
green
they
to red.
turn. In New Zealand, where I used to grow them on my windowsill there, we had so many that we actually used them for Christmas decorations.
Oh, that's
Like, we
nice.
just strung them up, and then although our Christmas tree was sort of like 1 foot tall.
A tiny one.
Yeah.
Oh. I should have taken the opportunity to ask you about cheeses as well.
Love cheese.
Yes. I mean, who
Husband is
doesn't?
French, so there's always cheese in the
Of
house.
course he is, yeah. He was a sommelier.
Yes.
Does that mean
Yeah.
you just don't have to have any interest in wine because he'll sort it out? and
Pretty
you-
much, but he knows what I like. I think he's rather spoiled my palate over the years as well.
Only the finest French reds.
We're very lucky and blessed in our household. But every time we come back from France, we always bring some cheese back as gifts for friends as well.
Are there any times where he's talking about wine and going into all this detail about, flavour notes and things like that, and you're just like, give it a rest?
No,
No?
I'm actually curious about some of them. That's why I've learnt about wine over the years. Was also being curious from Davi and wanting to understand more about it.
Is he a Franco-Vino supremacist?
No, Davi's very open-minded. Actually, he's championed the new world wines for as far back as I can remember. Before people were into the, remember when the screw tops came in and it was a big, oh my goodness, that would never last. How disgusting!
People are still sniffy about it, though.
Absolutely.
If you go to a dinner party with one of those tucked under your arm, the looks you'll get. I don't need to tell you, Monica.
Interestingly enough, we're heading to Samoa next week, and David is coming with me. I'm training a restaurant team out there.
Oh my God.
And he's helping teach them about the wines.
That's so
yeah.
cool. Is that the island where you were born?
Yes.
I looked at pictures of that earlier.
Yeah.
Why would you ever leave that place? It looks like heaven. It looks like a genuine
It is
paradise.
beautiful. It is paradise. Yeah.
You left when was it 9 or something?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, about
what
that
were your?
age.
I mean, you must have spoken about this at length many times, but what are your memories of it as a child?
I just remember just being really happy, running around, barefoot.
Again, why would you leave?
Exactly, but that wasn't my choice. It was at 9. I think I would have happily stayed there. But I remember picking pineapples, being shown how to pick pineapples, taking bananas with my uncles. We do this thing where the food is cooked in a umu, which is in volcanic rocks.
It's like a pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they make this huge fire, and then once it's all died down, they separate the rocks and they put all the food on it and then cover it back up with the rocks.
What kind of food are they putting on the?
You're
rocks?
talking about types of meat, fish, sort of platted in coconut leaves, and
So they sort of steam in the leaves.
steams and bakes at the same time. It's just phenomenal. And so the uncles used to let me take a banana, and they would sort of just sit it on the rocks, and it would just roast on the bananas and caramelize. So yeah, really great memories back in the islands.
That's amazing. Yeah, the taste of the caramelized banana presumably is your ratatouille moment. If you get to
Yeah.
taste that, it takes you straight
Yeah,
back
exactly.
to the island.
Yeah.
Well, that's something great that you get to go back and stuff, and you get to sort of, teach them about all the things you've learned and also wine.
I'm really excited about it, and it's something I've always wanted to do, was to give back
Yeah.
to my people as well. Because I've lived here for 26 years now, so this opportunity's come up to do that, and I'm very excited.
Oh, well, that sounds amazing. I have still promised to buy you a gift. Do you know what? The coward's way out would be for me to go, what would you like? But actually, I think based on our brief conversation so far, I'm going to go with my intuition
Right.
and try and get you something that I think that you would like.
Okay.
I'm heading towards a blue cheese. I feel confident that this is an area that you're a fan of. I also don't know how long you'll be out and about today, so I don't want to get you a thing that's going to be sort of stinking up your bag.
Well, luckily it's not that warm, so
Good
I think
point.
we'll be okay.
We'll be okay, yeah. Let's go for the Roquefort. I can see Monica out the corner of my eyes nodding. What do we think about that?
That looks brilliant.
Okay, we're
Love
going to
it.
get
Thank you so much.
Monica the Roquefort. That's okay. It's nice to support these kind of shops. Could I please buy this?
Can I get your bag?
Yeah, a bag would be good, I think. Little bag. Well, here is your Roquefort.
That's so kind. Thank you so much. We won't even nibble it halfway down the street.
Yeah, for sustenance. That's good. Okay, well, we've had a lovely time in this old shop. Shall we rock on to our next location?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hi, it's Liv Little.
It's Miranda Sawyer here, and we are the hosts of the newest culture podcast out there. We have notes from The Observer.
As writers, we give and take notes all the time. It's part of the fun, especially when it comes to culture. But now we're sharing our thoughts on the most interesting stories dominating the zeitgeist.
No headline skimming here. We promise to give you the insightful takes, plenty of debate, and a recommendation or two.
Listen to new episodes of We Have Notes every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts.
When you moved from Samoa as a child to New Zealand, were you the only person in the history of the world to have moved to New Zealand and thought like, oh, this is a bit busy?
Possibly, and a bit cold.
That's mad.
You know,
what was
this
it like
is
compared
cold.
to where you'd been before?
I mean, I found it was an assault of the senses when you come from.
You're definitely the first person to call New Zealand an
absolutely.
assault of the senses.
But coming from a Pacific island and pretty much, the sun shone every day, and if it rained, you were still outside playing. I found the food really odd.
What was the food like?
Everything to me just tasted sweet. My brothers had left with my parents before us. I think they were there a year or two before my sister and I got there.
Gotcha.
And so, they were into sweet cereals. And
like like Lucky Charms and things like that.
I just remember they was putting sugar onto cereals. I thought it was the most disgusting thing.
Right.
I think growing up eating natural sweet fruit,
Right.
that's where I got sweet things from
I
as a
see,
child. So
yeah.
any added sugar for me was just too much.
But you are also quite known for like patisserie and things like that. And,
I love
and,
working in pastry, yes.
Yeah, the creating of like,
Yeah.
quite kind of ornate, often like fire-based desserts and things like that.
Right.
Is that just fun because you like the assemblage of it and the
I mean,
the preparation?
the tasting of it is fine, when we're creating something. But if I have desserts, I tend to sort of irk towards more sharp, citrus notes.
Yes, yeah. Me too, I think, actually. One of the other guests in this series said that like lots of men think it's quite impressive to talk about being a savoury person.
What is up with men?
I don't know, but I sort of know what she meant. And, just like as if sort of like admitting to liking sweet desserts isn't sort of like manly enough.
Oh gosh,
I
I've
only like
got
savoury things.
quite a few men friends, and my husband included, that would completely disregard that theory.
Oh really?
Very
What's a
sweet
dessert that
tooth.
you would make for your husband at home?
He loves things like ta-ta-ta.
Oh yes, yeah.
Can't help it, he's French.
That's the big apple one, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, but you can use any fruit, or pears and that work as well.
Yeah, and then how long was it when you arrived in New Zealand before you were working with food professionally?
It was much later. It was later. It was sort of started 17.
Okay, yeah.
Later on, and I started my training in cooking when I was in New Zealand. But yeah, food was very different when I started cooking.
What was it like?
Oh, it's fascinating. I mean, Samoan food is soul food. It's all in one pot. It's delicious, but there's none of these fancy things that I suddenly walked into this kitchen as a chef and saw, chocolate decorations being piped, bread rolls being made, freshly, and things like blending a soup. Our soups have got body, got whole potatoes, there's a fish head.
Yeah.
There's even a fish head in there sometimes if my dad's cooking. So it was just all so refined, and I just found it so intriguing, so interesting. It was like being a magician.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, this is presumably the restaurant. Was it called Timothy's?
My gosh, you've done some research.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd say it's basic professional standards.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, the thing that interested me though was I don't know anything about the restaurant.
Yeah.
But I was very interested in the fact that the guy who ran it seemed really keen on getting you to sort of compete.
Yes.
First in New Zealand and then
Yeah.
also abroad.
Yeah.
That's quite an amazing level of support.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was he just like a super believer in you as a chef and was like, we have to get Monica out there?
I think Stephen was a tutor to start with. He was a tutor in the cooking school and owned the restaurants. He was very much, about supporting young chefs and getting them to be competitive and getting the best out of it. So I was just very fortunate that I ended up working with him, and he just asked me one day and said, how do you feel about giving this a go? And I was like, sure, why not?
Did you like take to it like a
Duck to water.
duck to water?
Pretty much.
Really?
Yeah. Pretty much. But it was a lot of hard work, a lot of training involved. But I thrived on it. I know I would come in maybe a couple of hours early to start my shift and practice. He'd leave a box of ingredients in the kitchen for me. or after the service at night, closed down, everyone would leave.
And it was random ingredients.
Yeah,
Let's
random
see
ingredients.
what she does with
and
this.
he would leave a box of ingredients out there for me, and I would have to create, 3 courses from this box of ingredients.
A load
and
of
then-
fish heads. Let's put it in your
What
dad's
can
soup.
you make? Yeah, absolutely, dad's soup. So I'd do, make the plates of food, stick them in the fridge, go home, and he'd come in first thing the next morning and have a look at what I'd done.
It sounds a bit like hearing an athlete talk about training for a sort of sports meet or a competition or something like that, like putting in the extra hours, being
Yeah.
there early, Was there a feeling that it was almost like being part of a sport?
Yeah, I mean, Stephen took it so serious, and there was, I think I was 21 at the time. There was one time that we had a practice session to do the next day, and I think this is where we were going to compete in Australia or something. And I'd gone out after work at night, so I would have finished working at 12, met my girlfriends out at the nightclubs, and then remember coming to practice with Stephen, and I was late and I was so hungover. He was not impressed, and for some reason he got a live chicken, right? He thought I was going to prep this live chicken.
While you're that hungover?
Yeah, and the 2 waitresses at the restaurant stole the chicken and they went and set it free.
Oh my God.
And they kind of saved me, because the last thing I wanted to do was prepare a live chicken.
Would you have been able to, you think?
I mean, why? He was getting a bit too serious.
It sounds like he was punishing you for being hungover.
Yeah.
But let's see what you make of this.
Yeah.
I have no doubt, though, that you could have plucked, strangled, and butchered the chicken within minutes, should you have had to.
The plucking and that would have been fine. The killing of the chicken, no. Someone else would have had to do that for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And on that note, do you want to say where our second location is?
Yes, we are now outside Josephine's here, which does great lunches, and I think it's just great, simple, well done food.
Yeah. What kind of food? I'm assuming French.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Is there a reason why chefs naturally are drawn towards French cuisine?
I think chefs gravitate towards it because it is the classics. They're the basics of when you learn to train as a chef, making the sauces and that, and also the complex way that the sauces and everything are made, yet can also be done so simple. Where it's just fish with a sauce over the top, for example.
Yeah, very few ingredients. You just got a very enthusiastic wave from a man who just came out.
Yeah, everybody thinks I'm in for lunch again, but it's
Yeah.
she didn't book.
But all chefs, they all love French food first and foremost, as far as I can tell. Yeah, the sauces, the basics, the preparation, and this is a place where you would expect a good French lunch.
Yeah, absolutely.
What would you order
I mean,
if we have a look at the menu?
You've got duck confit with lentils and mustard,
Onion soup.
sauces on Toulouse.
Oh yeah, sausages on Toulouse, yes. There used to be an amazing French bistro near Stoke Newington called the Flying Frenchman, and he was a bit like sort of Gerard Depardieu, and he would be in there, arm in a sling most of the time for some reason, or he'd chopped his finger off while cooking, and then he'd be doing the saucisson and the Toulouse stuff, and then he'd be making his French onion soup, then he'd be coming to sit down next to you with a glass of wine to talk to you about putting the world to rights while you were eating your dinner. He was amazing. I think he now owns a restaurant in Paris. But I loved his style of being a chef, It was very sort of wholehearted and very warm, and he didn't take himself too seriously, but he had very high standards, And I think he'd also been a sheep farmer or something, so he knew a lot about the rearing of animals.
Amazing, yeah.
So that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. He was very upset when Britain left the EU.
Right.
Mainly
I think
because
a lot of people were.
A lot of people were, yeah.
Yeah.
For him, it was to do with the standards of farming. He was
Yeah.
like, the EU's helped bring up the standards of livestock rearing massively, and now it's going to sort of tumble down again. Don't know if that happened. Not that I want to get political.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's a whole different podcast on its own.
Yeah. Well, very nice to stand outside Josephine. I don't think there's room for us at the inn, but
Right.
should we, I'm sure you could just kick the door in and walk in and say hello if you wanted to, but we've not been given an invitation for this one.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
funnily enough.
We could say hi, just give a wave and.
We should give a little friendly wave if we can see anyone giving a wave. Yep.
Bonjour, hello, how are you? Are you good?
Yeah.
We're
Even
just
chef
talking
of
over.
you. I'm the
So,
chef after this.
okay.
Wow, I think we have a chef coming out.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're not going in, but the power of Monica is so much that the chef is coming out,
Oh no.
drawing him out. Yeah. Hello.
Hey! Oh my gosh!
Very nice to see you.
How are you? You look so well. Yeah. really
you up to?
good. It's the Time Out podcast, so just
cool.
walking through, suggesting some places I like here in the area.
nice.
So of course I had to put Josephine on
Of
it.
course,
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, not at all. So that's good.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you so much. Thank
Lovely
you,
to see
Andre.
you, yeah.
We'll see you again soon.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wow, he had his name on his chef whites there.
Andre Garrett.
Yeah, and at what stage, in terms of working your way up a kitchen, do you get your name on the chef whites?
I mean, Andre is very well known in the
Yeah.
industry. So yeah, it's a given that you earn that. You as a chef, your name ends up on your jacket.
Yeah, nice of him to come out and say hi.
That was nice. I didn't want to intrude.
No, I could see
Yeah.
you weren't too keen on getting in his way. I suppose if you are a professional yourself, you know how annoying that can be.
Yeah, just I know, and I've known Andre for a bit as well. I just never know what's going on in someone's kitchen, and
Yeah.
I hate to intrude.
You seem very conscientious. Should we move on to the third location?
Absolutely.
What was London like when you first arrived?
Oh my gosh, I remember. I think I'd only been here a week, and there was the Brixton bombing.
Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah.
that's quite a
My
mad thing
family
to
were very
experience.
worried. I think my parents are very keen for me to get back.
Yeah.
But so exciting. It's your early 20s.
Yeah. What a time as well, the late 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, I assume also when you sort of, immediately started working at Le Gavroche.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting story in and of itself, the fact that you just wrote a letter to them and they got back to you, but we'll come back to that. I assume when you just turn up and straight away you're working in one of the city's most famous and I'm assuming demanding restaurants, that's your life. It's like it doesn't leave too much time for like other stuff. Or did you actually find like you had sort of
Oh no.
bit of time for social
there
life?
was no life.
No
once.
life.
It was life. That became life.
Yeah.
You had to give everything
Yes.
to being in that particular kitchen.
Was there part of you that was like kind of
Embraced
enjoying
it.
that?
Oh my gosh, yeah. It was everything that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But the realization in the first sort of months on how serious it was and how serious you had to take it was tough.
You'd been to some pretty fancy kitchens, you'd worked in some pretty, sort of demanding places. What was the difference between Le Gavroche and those places?
Oh my goodness. You had to start from scratch. Everything you thought you knew, you had to leave them at the door and start again, start from fresh.
Could you give me an example of like the type of thing that would be?
From how you made a sauce, how you treated ingredients, how you treated yourself, like even your shoes, if they weren't clean.
Oh,
you can,
it sounds like the army.
Yeah. To even the cleaning. I think we scrubbed that damn floor 4 times a day.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean the chefs do the cleaning. You
Yeah.
know. Fridays was the bane of all our lives.
Why is that?
That was the Friday cleaning, different from the rest of the week's cleaning. So Friday cleaning also meant getting acid out after lunch service, covering all the surfaces and wrapping them down with cling film so that we could get acid out and acid clean ovens.
I've never worked a lunch service in Le Gavroche, but I imagine after doing so, getting the acid out is the last thing you feel like doing.
Yeah. And the thing was, this acid had to be used while everything was hot.
Oh, really?
So you had to strip one part of the kitchen down, and you had to take everything, like the gas stove hobs, the tops, all of that down there, and they had to be covered in acid and intersect while they were hot, because that was how it worked. And then of course all the copper pans had to be polished.
That's a different level of deep
Oh
clean.
yeah. And then around 5 o'clock, when the head chef would come in, he would do a tour of the kitchen.
Really? He would like wipe his finger across things,
Absolutely.
get acid all over his hands,
And
presumably.
normally the one we'd all get caught out on was the damn ceiling.
Yeah.
It's a white
The ceiling?
Yeah. You had to bleach the ceiling with vinegar.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is. I'm getting an education in what a deep clean truly means.
Oh yeah. But and they then become your standards, and then when I was in my own kitchen sort of thing, and I see something on the floor, and I
Yeah.
see one of my chefs walk past it, that winds me.
Really?
Yeah. So how can you not see that on the floor and not pick it up?
Yeah.
It's like, I'd get frustrated in how they were cleaning the floor, maybe, and then I'd be like, jump in there, grab it, and say, "This is how you do it."
Yeah. Well, that's because you've had the training.
Yeah.
We have also just walked past a very nice and shiny, very clean-looking branch of Itsu, which I feel like you have a current connection to.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
That's been an amazing project to work on with Julian and the team.
When you say Julian as well, you might need. Not everyone's as familiar with the executive level of Itsu as you are.
Yeah, so Julian, who started off with Pret. While I was working with him, sort of adjusting certain recipes, he wasn't very happy with behind the scenes the idea of working on his noodles and broth, the pot noodles that he had.
Yep. Big
And
fan.
Not at first.
You won. Okay.
No, not at first. And I think it was my honesty with him and on everything that we were doing behind the scenes anyway.
Yeah.
And so he said, "What do you think of these?" And I said, "Well, let me try them all." And I said, "Julian, they're not good."
Right.
And he said he wanted to know what wasn't good, and straight away I gave him my feedback.
What was the feedback? I'm very interested.
It was lacking in flavour, in depth. So, we've adjusted that. We've also picked the flavours apart, all the ingredients apart, and started retasting together, recreating.
Wow.
We went to Japan to meet Yoshi
Lucky.
and the family.
That's so cool.
Yeah, but the whole respect to getting something that's pure. This is miso made in Japan that goes in this product. Who
Yeah.
does that?
No, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're going to the ends of the
Yeah,
earth.
the rice noodles are made in Vietnam, and they get hand rolled. And he just believes, and I said, "Oh, have you ever thought about doing it here?" And he was like, "But that means the price would go up.
Yes.
The product won't be as pure, and we're supporting the people that make it.
Well, yeah,
the money goes
absolutely.
direct to them."
I don't think it's an exaggeration to say this Julian fellow has probably influenced working Londoners' diets maybe more than any other person in the last 20 years. Because, I've been part of the workforce for 15, 20 years or whatever. The stuff that he's produced essentially has been the sort of culinary background to my entire professional life, whether it's Pret or Itsu.
Yes.
And you know what it's like when it comes to people choosing where to go for lunch. They
Absolutely,
Can be,
yeah.
if they get a bad experience twice in a row, they're not going back.
No,
ever.
you're not ever going back, and being out there and having time with the miso masters, learned 7 different types of miso that we were going through to get the right ones for what our product, just fascinating. It's like a chef's dream, just to, what? Let me at it.
Is Japan in general a bit of a chef's dream?
Yeah, I can't wait to go back.
I'm going back in a month and a half.
Are you?
I'm so excited.
Where-
I'm genuinely so excited.
Oh my gosh! So it was a work trip, so I was
Yeah.
there, I think total 7 days, but I had 3-4 days on my own in Tokyo. But the food! Oh my gosh!
Why is it that you think just the general standard of normal food there is very high?
It's again what they're used to, isn't it? The quality, they don't skimp on it, and everyone eats well, affordably in Japan.
That's true.
Huh?
Yeah.
And
Pretty healthy food as well.
Yeah, and if you, for example, if you're going to have a shabu shabu, and you sit there and you've got the different selection, and you can have from the most basic, where it's just vegetables or mushrooms, to choosing wagyu beef
Yes.
to go with it. They cater for everyone.
This is history right here. Should we say where we are now as we approach your third location?
Yeah, we are heading into Hyde Park.
Right, yeah. Now this bit of Hyde Park is the very historical bit, which was known pretty much for one thing, and one thing only, for hundreds of years, which was executing people. Just over there, obviously, was the Tyburn Tree, which is what they called the gallows, and they would drive people down from up there, often from Newmarket Prison, I think, and then execute people there. And that was what the whole area was known for. It was next to the Tyburn River, which is now a sort of sewage system underground somewhere. Wow, look, this is so beautiful. Why have you chosen Hyde Park as your third location?
So I still love walking through Hyde Park,
Yes.
even though if I'm visiting with a friend, catching up for a coffee in Marylebone especially, then we'll do a whole circuit.
Oh,
That usually means we'll end up somewhere in Hyde Park, whether it's down by
Serpentine?
by the Serpentine. So I was going to say, look, they've got the park thing up there.
what is going on?
That's the Christmas park thing.
Okay,
What's
yeah,
it
Winter
called?
Wonderland.
Winter Wonderland.
I like Christmas Park thing. That's a better name for it. I feel they could rebrand as that.
It comes out in the winter, doesn't it? Around
Christmas Park
time.
thing.
Yeah.
Everyone loves it. It's so popular.
When I was working at the Gav, this is where we'd come and just chill out, get a bit of sun when you could. But also love down by the gardens. So my husband used to come and meet me with Anais if he was, if I was working.
That's very romantic.
Well, he'd bring our daughters, otherwise I wouldn't see her.
Oh.
So on my break, we'd take Anais down by the gardens and what have you, and down by the Serpentine.
That's so nice. I've got a small surprise, which is at this stage,
Yeah.
a very, very quick small quiz
Oh, okay.
based on 4 significant dates from your life
Okay.
and things that happened in London on those dates. Now, I've chosen things from the archive of Time Out with the help of lovely Anne, the archivist. I've chosen things that, even though you weren't necessarily here for some of this, you might know anyway.
Okay.
And if you don't know, it's fine. It's just an excuse for a conversation. You were born the 26th of August, 1975. On that day,
Yes.
in the issue of Time Out, there's an advert which says, "A gruesome and compelling archive of demons and disease, murders and martyrs." It's a tourist attraction and it had just opened. It's still there today. Do you know what that is?
What is it? Is it Tower of London? No.
It's close to the Tower of London. It's popular with tourists. I can tell you at the moment, a ticket costs about 35 quid.
Oh, is it Madame Tussauds?
Okay, you're getting closer. It's like a sort of more ghoulish Madame Tussauds, a bit more to do with Jack the Ripper.
Is that the one on Tower Bridge?
Yeah.
Ah.
The London Dungeon.
Yes.
That's it.
Done
yeah.
it. Yeah.
You've done it?
Yes, I have.
Did you like it?
Did I like it? Yeah. Well, it was my daughter's idea. I
Okay.
think Anais must have been about 8 when she wanted to go.
Yeah.
And she just screamed through most of it. So didn't.
It comes up a lot on the podcast. People always bring it up.
She was absolutely petrified. Yet she loved it.
That's good, yeah. That's nice. Good to hear
Yeah.
people enjoy it. 1975, it did cost £1.50 to get in as well. I asked them, I sent
What
them an
can
email.
you get into for £1.50 these days?
Pretty much nothing. Yeah, I don't think anything, sadly. No, I mean, you'd be lucky. Number 2, you moved to London at the start of April in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
That week in Time Out, there is a review of a restaurant that says Marcus Waring's cooking's hard to fault, especially at these prices. It had just opened.
Was it Aubergine?
No.
Was it at the hotel?
Yes. I actually didn't know the name of this place, so...
I should know. Marcus. Oh my gosh.
It was a good review.
Yeah. Okay. And it's on the corner
Yeah.
of the hotel.
It
no.
was
What does it
Petrus.
say? Petrus.
Petrus, sorry.
Oh.
You can tell how much of an outsider I am that I pronounced
That's
it
right,
Petrus. Okay, November the 4th, 2013 was...
2013.
I know that's not the first series where you're there as a judge
Hmm.
on MasterChef, but I've chosen this because of questions which sort of relate to things you would maybe know. Which of your MasterChef judge colleagues was on stage that week at the Royal Festival Hall performing on Frank Zappa's 200 Motels prog rock concert opus thing? A clue is to say they would have been on the piano.
Jay Rayner.
Yes, Jay
Ah,
Rayner,
okay.
which is quite amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see you as much of a prog rock person.
I've seen Jay perform a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, is he good?
He's good.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I'm like, God, save some talent for the rest of us, Rayner.
Take it all.
Yeah.
That's a nice olive tree, isn't it?
Oh, it's a beautiful olive tree. Yeah, just outside of our 4th location. Do you want to say where we are? Are you going to try and pronounce it?
Yes, La Maritzu.
La Maritzu. Now, this is a Basque cheesecake specialist.
Yes.
Why have you
That-
chosen this?
That's all they do here. It's coffee and cheesecake. So when I go for a walk with my friend Guy, we pass through here. Our treat is normally pick up cheesecake and sit there, have our coffee, eat our cheesecake, and then carry on walking, catch up about life in general.
Well, I'm honoured that you're sharing it with me. Shall we go in and maybe have a quick sit?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Well, here we are, and we've just had our cheesecakes served to us. How did this become part of your routine?
We came across it on one of our walks.
Yeah. This is an old friend, you and
Yes,
them.
yeah. It's one of my dearest friends, so we would meet up once a month. And we passed by it, and I said, oh my gosh, Basque cheesecake, we've got to go try it. And then it's become a regular thing for us. Have you tried it?
I've had my first bite. It's very nice, very, very creamy. As I boasted earlier about not being a sweet person, more of a savoury person, in the predictable macho way, I have to say this is very delicious. I would break my savoury only rule, I think, for this. And you're not
But
a
it's not
sweet
too
person.
sweet.
It's not too sweet.
It's a cheesecake, yeah.
How do you go about making something like this? I'm a complete cheesecake novice.
Really?
Wouldn't know where to start. Yeah.
Okay, well, this is one it's a baked cheesecake.
Okay.
So, and it also needs to set once it's come out. Yeah, with the recipe, I think it's a secret recipe that he's got, but it's very creamy.
It is very creamy. Yeah. What mistakes are the rookie mistakes for cheesecake makers out there?
I think when they cook it too hot, too fast, it can become very grainy.
This is no grain. This is smooth as you like.
It's as smooth as you can get it.
I'm worried about getting it all in my beard, and you'd have to look at that while we're eating.
No, you're doing good.
You're too polite to say anything. I know you would just happily just let me sit there with a face full of cream, but
I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't?
I
Okay.
would tell you. No, I would tell you.
yeah, what's more
Like
polite?
tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. You'd email back and let me know. Yeah, no, but this is absolutely delicious.
Or sometimes there's quite a queue out here as well, especially when the weather's good.
Has it become like an Instagram hotspot?
I don't know.
As a chef, is the Instagram hype food thing like completely like mind blowing to you, or is it something you kind of understand?
over the years, you've come to understand it goes hand in hand, you know, with the industry now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Social media is a huge part of the world,
Yeah.
so to speak, and it helps to advertise a lot of places on it, you know.
Do you think chefs sometimes in the restaurant have to put up with a certain amount of front-facing cameras and lights, and they're sort of wishing people will be a bit more subtle about it, but they kind of know this person has
I
half a
think
million followers, so...
It's down to the restaurant itself to set its standards. You know, I know some places don't want it,
Yeah.
but I also, you know, tend to think that people that do Instagram posting can make a difference to some
Yeah,
of those
huge
places.
difference.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, for the staff at Time Out, a large part of our function was sort of replaced by influencers in a lot of ways. You know, previously, the power of a reviewer was so enormous. And it seems sort of unfair in retrospect that the fate of a whole restaurant was basically balancing on one visit, you know? I know that Faye Mashler, with the Evening Standard, used to actually visit twice. She'd go back in a few weeks' time, you know, sort of undercover to make sure that the experience was consistent, which is quite the idea that you would do that now, the finance department would look at 2 receipts and be like, are you joking?
Yeah, go back again.
Again, yeah. But I can see exactly why that was being done. It was standards, you know, editorial standards. Whereas now I think the influencers have sort of taken a lot of that power.
I also feel that, you know, influencer is not a new thing. So especially say in the last sort of like 6, 7 or so years, you've got very credible, you know,
That's
food,
true.
restaurant influencers that do this for a living and genuinely understand a bit more about food.
Yes.
You know.
I suppose, you know, at that point, it's a critic who's very good at using social media.
Exactly,
You know.
yeah.
Of course, there was was it Amazing Hotels?
Yes.
Yeah, what a cool series that was. I remember watching that and thinking, it's kind of mad that no one's done a MasterChef of hotels like that series was. Again, I think just because the job, I often think about what it is that sort of makes something
Yeah.
value for money, whether it's a cheap hotel, an expensive hotel, luxury, not luxury. What is a good experience when you're staying somewhere?
The good experience also is very much dependent on the team that run, you know, it's like a good restaurant. Or a good hotel, if it's empty, it's soulless. You know, if it's rude, you're not going to go back, you know, if it's cold. So it's all about the warmth of the welcome and the people that look after you. I remember one of these hotels, I was having breakfast and there was a gentleman who was dropping the breakfast tray off and I was just, you know, oh, how are you? And he was like, I'm sorry, we're not allowed to talk.
No, yeah.
And run off.
That was it.
Yeah.
You didn't even go in for a kiss or anything.
No,
You
no.
just was talking to
yeah,
them.
I was just, you know, saying, oh, this is beautiful. And then I was like, I'm really sorry, ma'am.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness.
I feel like they should also be told that if a guest is trying
Yes,
to talk,
and I think
maybe
it is
it's okay.
that. Yeah, maybe it is of that. But you know, and then there's been hotels, for example, in Ireland. I mean, the warmth of the Irish. By the second day, they're giving you a hug, you know, at breakfast, and trying to get you to take a side of smoked salmon back to your room.
Yeah, and it's a nice thing. It's not too much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just,
I was going to say off the top of your head, what are the nicest hotels in the world that you think you stayed at, based on the feeling of warmth and how comfortable it was?
Warmth and how comfortable it was. I think I still remember how warm and inviting they were at Ashford Castle. in Ireland. And also some hotels. I admire what they do for the surrounding area. So in South America, there was the Cloud Hotel, right? And it used to be where they literally demolished all the trees, to do farming. And there was the last bit of rainforest left. And this man put his money where his mouth was and bought the last part of that forest. Didn't destroy a single tree. He built the hotel where the existing logging site was, and then went on to then teach the locals on why it was important not to kill these massive caterpillars, because they turn in these beautiful butterflies.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
Yeah, and now they even get the children coming in from the schools, and they spend a day going through learning about the plants and what it does to the ecosystem.
Oh, how cool.
So I'm a bit of a geek for things like that. So things like that I get excited about.
Yeah.
In
London, is there one that you think, because I think there's a lot in London that are sort of like super luxury, posh places, but actually, I don't know, in my experience, just because we get to review them for Time Out, there's a few of the sort of super posh ones now that feel a bit loveless, I would say.
Oh, that's a shame. No, just being a Londoner, I don't really need to stay in London hotels. But it's not one that we did for the show, but I'm really glad we didn't, because it's like, I'd hate to have more people know about it, but it's actually quite famous now. But it's the Newt in Somerset. Isn't the Newt?
No.
That's an amazing place.
What's good about it?
So the Newt, there's the way that they've built it, they've also got orchards, apple orchards. The family found an old Victorian garden, where it's built into the walls.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so they make their own cider there.
Yeah.
They open up to the public with the gardens. But also they discovered an old Roman site further up, which they've now excavated. And
Wow.
you can tour it. And they've also created on the side of the building virtual reality, where you can walk through the building and you see what would have happened in those rooms back in the day. Yeah.
Maybe you don't always want to know what's happened in the hotel rooms before you stay.
Maybe
in
not.
them.
No. And that's sort of further up in the hill when you it's a huge site.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. The Newt. You definitely need to go check it out.
I can imagine that accidentally excavating a Roman site while you're trying to build a hotel
Yeah.
would be very exciting and also incredibly annoying at the same time.
Exactly.
Monica, that brings us to the end of our journey today. I do want to say thank you, because it's been great hearing you talk about like your memories from like when you first came to London through to working in Le Gavroche and the relationship you have with the city. It's very, it's moving. I hope you've had a nice time as well.
Oh, it's been great. It's been real fun. It's actually gone really quick, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Quicker than-
Time
yeah.
flies when you're having fun. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
And obviously enjoy your stinky blue cheese.
For sure, that's gonna be eaten, probably half of it tonight.
What a lovely day wandering around Marylebone in the sun, the non-seasonal sun. We were both dressed for rainy weather, so we both looked quite gothy, but it was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much to Monica for telling me all about her time when she first came to London, her life before she came to London, her life now. It was all really, really fascinating. A couple of small notes at the end of the episode. When we were outside Bistro Josephine, don't know if the mic caught it, but the head chef came out, and that was actually Andre Garrett, who's a very, very famous chef, I think from Corinthians before that. And Monica was actually a little bit thrown by that as well, I think. She wasn't expecting for him to come running out. Very, very nice to see him. Maybe next time they could let us into the premises as well, but you can't have it all. The other thing I was going to say was Speaker's Corner. I did want to kind of steer clear of it, even though it was the area that sort of Monica chose to walk through, just because I feel like in recent years, Speaker's Corner, it's gone from being somewhere where a lot of wacky people turned up and sort of espoused various conspiracy theories and things like that, to being a place where you get quite a lot of very, very dark-minded people espousing different kinds of conspiracy theories, maybe slightly scarier ones. So I didn't really want to put a microphone in front of those people. I hope that's okay. Don't forget to follow Time Out in London on Instagram. We'll be producing one of these every single week for a while. Give us a 5-star review while you're at it. Love Thy Neighbourhood is a Time Out podcast brought to you by the very, very fun folk at Ralph, and then audioed magically into existence by Big Signal. Hope you've enjoyed listening to us today. Love thyself and love thy neighbourhood. Cheerio.
London. What's it all about? Endless roadworks, click-clacking line bikes, rush hours from hell, and the less said about the price of a round, the better.
Just tap there when you're ready, mate.
What the
But allow Time Out to remind you why we love living in London. It's the brilliant cast you've not heard about, the parks you've yet to explore, the surprisingly decent open mic nights at your local comedy club. We make it our life's work to unearth the most brilliant bits of the city and serve them all up to you online. Whether you're in the market for a meat-free meal with your mates, an unforgettable cinema experience, or a night of highbrow fun at the theatre, we've almost certainly got you covered. And it's not just London. We also hunt out the best and most underrated spots in cities all over the world. Check out our latest and greatest recommendations at timeout.com and follow us on social at Time Out London.